Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, I'm Terry Topcat from the O2 Islington Academy, and I'm with the Fantastic Four, better known as Rachel Stamp. How you doing, guys? Good evening.
Doing well, thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Oh, no, thank you for letting me do an interview with you. So it's Terry Topcat for plusview.com, and it's Friday the 14th, and it's probably about a year since you did the garage gig.
Yeah, it's been about a year, and we decided to do a show because we've just reissued our Hymns for Strange Children album. So we thought we'd play tonight. It came out today. We thought we'd play tonight to celebrate.
On Easy Action.
On Easy Action Records, yeah.
So originally you formed in about 1994.
Around about there, yeah. So I moved to London where I met Will, and we had a sort of version of the band going for a year or two, I guess, and then Robin joined, and then Shahina, and then that was when we became successful, when it was the four of us, really.
So the album came out in 2000.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
I've done my research.
23 years ago. It's a long time.
Still sounds great.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
And so tell me how you met the producer John Fryer. He worked with some really great artists.
He actually contacted us through our management company. He had heard a single that we'd done, and he liked what we did, and we basically the first thing he did with us was he mixed the I Got the Worm single, which we'd recorded ourselves, and that went really well. We got on well with him, and from then on we pretty much worked with him. We did a few songs with another producer called Harvey Birrell, but John Fryer was kind of our main producer at that point.
So tell me, so you got a lot of good reaction from the press, especially NME, when you first came out, and as I can see from outside, you got some ardent fans who've followed you from the beginning. And I used to have a record store in Portobello, and it was hard to get your vinyl. So every time I'd get something Rachel Stamp, especially CD or vinyl, it would like fly out. So then I was like, who's this band Rachel Stamp?
It was us. We ran around buying it.
No, it wasn't. So when the album came out in 2000, you had some really good support slots as well, didn't you? You played with supported many good bands as well.
Yeah, back then we supported like No Doubt and Cheap Trick. So that was
Iggy Pop.
Yeah, Iggy Pop we played with. Yeah, there was a good shows to do. You know, their audiences were very receptive to what we were doing. So.
And tell me, Shahina, the name Hymns for Strange Children. How did that come about? Because that's a really great album title.
We have to ask David. He
Okay.
came up with that.
Okay.
Well,
Just not be here, basically.
Sorry.
It's David's solo project.
It's not. It's not. So basically, I was very religious when I was growing up, and I kind of liked the idea of rock and roll being like a religion. And a lot of the kids that would come and see us play were kind of misfits, and they were very much strange children, and the rock and roll experience is, and I've always sort of had a sense of humour about the whole thing of having a Jesus complex, that I'm here to save everyone. So that kind of plays into it as well. And also as well, I mean, in all honesty, there's an album by Hazy Fantasy that I was listening to a lot of the time called Battle Hymns for Children Singing. So I guess I saw those two words and I was like, oh, okay, that's, it's not the same, but it was certainly inspired by that.
Was that the only name? Did you have any other choices in that time? Or was it just that was it? Boom.
Do you know what, I can't remember. I remember that we were doing the album, we recorded it, and then we think of the title, and I think I just said it's got to be called that, I think. I don't remember if there was anything else
No
contained.
debate needed. It's such a good name.
Yeah.
So it really makes sense, because every time we came into a town, you could see
The strange children.
You could see them, during the day, kind of waiting outside or to greet us. That was quite special.
So can I talk about maybe some of the videos from the album? Because
Sure.
you're a very visual band, so which video directors did you work with, or did you come up with the storyboards yourself, or was it collaboration?
Well, so Monster of the New Wave was basically directed by the photographer Paul Harris, who was just a great photographer, and that was hardly any budget, but he was really great at just making us look good. And then I Want to Be Your Doll was actually directed by Robin's brother,
Yeah.
Corin Harding.
Corin, and we shot it in our village. with the church, we had some shots going up and down the spire or whatever it was, you know,
Yeah.
the internal bit. And then we had a friend who had this, who was sort of friends with the Rolling Stones, and he had this big sort of country mansionist. And we had these fantastic gates. Do you remember the gates?
Yeah.
And Corin got a friend of his to sort of, I don't know, steal a Cadillac or whatever. And there was a film where there was a shot where we had to arrive or something in a car, and these gates open, and it was, you know, my cousin was like piping dry ice, and it was all very
Sure, very
shoestring. It was
you
great
know,
fun.
low budget things. But we were always really lucky to get people who just had a good eye, visual eye, really. I think those are the only two videos at the time, and then we just put out a video for Brand New Toy, which is basically just from a pile of footage from years ago, filmed by various different people, and I just basically edited that together into a new thing. So I don't know whether I can't really take creative credit for that. I just stuck it together.
So you guys were also in a film as well. Was it GMT?
Yes,
Yeah. So how did that
Meantime,
come?
that was again through our management company, and they needed originally it was a smaller part, and then I met with the director Taylor Hackford, who directed An Officer and a Gentleman. You might be interested to know, and I think he directed The Idolmaker, which is an amazing film. If nobody's seen it, you've got to track it down.
And Hail Rock and Roll.
Yes, Hail Rock and Roll.
The
So-
documentary, one of the best documentaries ever made, I think.
Yeah, so and when I went to meet with him, he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you kind of look like this." Well, you know, I mean, we're on screen for
We get two
seconds.
songs in.
Seconds.
We get a couple of songs
yeah.
in, don't we?
But that was
But
a
it
lot
took
of fun.
2 nights.
Oh,
freezing
God,
our
yeah.
balls
Or
off.
3 nights. I
It
think.
was shot in
3 nights.
October. It's supposed to be a July party scene, and everyone's in
Yeah.
t-shirts. And between takes, because it would be pissing with rain, and they'd have to. They'd never seen anything like the crew were having hair dryers on the flags because they were being like lank, full of rain, and they were like, no, make them fly. And we're sitting there freezing on top of this roof of this Cutty Sark with
Yeah.
drums and.
Cut us off, yeah.
And everyone was pretending to have a great time in July at a party, and it's freaking freezing,
Horrible.
raining,
Yeah.
and you know, that's films, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of waiting around.
But have you had any songs in films at all, or like TV shows? Or...
One of our songs, a song called Twisted, was used in an American show called Point Pleasant.
Oh, yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah, there's a scene on a beach where some kids are having a party.
They're obviously dancing to something completely different.
Dancing
They just
to-
put on something-
Is it like different
slow
speeds?
dancing or
Oh my
something.
God.
And then you set up your
Yeah.
own label, didn't you? Bitch Fight.
Yeah, Bitch Vinyl came about basically when we got dropped by Warner's. We
Bitch
just
Vinyl.
wanted, we needed to put a record,
Don't blame me.
a record out, and it just seemed like the only thing to do, so that's what we did. Yeah.
So coming to the present, you've done quite a few shows. I mean, you never officially broke up, did you? You
No.
did your own things. And Will went and played with Selector and Anna Man, and you played with Faith No More.
For one massive day.
And, okay, well, Bruce Dickinson I read as well.
Shout 69 at the moment, a bunch of different stuff. So we've all kind of kept busy, you know, like I said, you know, David phones me up and goes, I'm producing this band called Lily Gun, I need a drummer. And, you know, I'm producing this band called Alexis the Stranger, and then off I go and on tour, you know, so it's fun. David's my agent, basically, you know. And, you know, it's just...
And you said that you and Will played with Angie Bowie and went with Adam Ant, obviously.
Yeah, with Angie Bowie, that was quite a weird thing because we were playing with Adam Ant at the time, and Angie came on stage and we did some songs with her. And that was quite exciting.
And I also have to mention kind of my favourite bands. When they leave you out, Shahina, she made me do it. So you're in a band with Will.
Yeah.
Will, she made me do it. And when I first saw you guys, it was kind of just the two of you, just like without Joe on drums, it was more electronic. And then you were just singing, and then you played the bass, it was more rock and roll. And love that band.
Just developed naturally, and I think also being used to having real drums, sort of, I wanted that feeling again, that power. And then I thought, I should play bass then, I should learn.
Because I think the keyboards, like Mum was saying, really enhances your sound as well. You know, it could just be 2 guitars and bass and, you know, vocals. But I love the keyboards and
It's
in
weird
your
being
sound
back
as
behind
well.
the keys, but I do like
Which
it.
is your
I like
preferred?
it.
Is that keyboards or both? Now you love playing the bass.
I love my bass, and I write music on the bass now. But you know, playing piano it's more playing with these guys when we're together. That's more than the instrument. It's more like the feeling of the songs. It's actually the songs. Yeah, that's always pretty powerful. It's quite emotional. It's quite powerful, and it's yeah.
So we're going to wrap up in a minute, but I just want to say, everyone wants to know, is there any plans to write some more music together, or maybe hopefully some more gigs in the future?
Maybe we shall see. We shall see.
Okay.
It's
So
takes-
thank. So
sorry.
thank. Go, no, carry on. Kind of
I
sorry.
know, it's taken 5 years just for us to get a rehearsal.
Yeah.
No, we do
might
the
have-
gigs so that we
we shall
can rehearse and get together, you know what I mean?
I think the thing is that the albums that we've made, you know, we're really proud of them, and if we were to do something else, it would have to be to understand, you know, and we're all doing so much stuff that we'd have to, if we could find sort of just a window of opportunity to dedicate, I think, to it, then it would be possible. I mean, I think, you know,
It's definitely got the fan base.
yeah, and you know, we're very lucky in that the four of us together make a really great noise.
And you still feel that chemistry when you rehearse and play.
Yeah,
We did rehearsal, we haven't seen each other for a long time. We played every song once and went, sounds as good as we were in a recording studio. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
for tightener, we didn't need to go over anything. You'd imagine that any normal band would be like, oh, how's that bit going? We spend hours and hours pouring through the songs. We literally just counted them in straight
We're
through.
very experienced, you know. Very experienced. I don't know if you know about us, but 23 years ago we made this album.
It's all those 30-day UK
It's
tours.
there.
We just toured, and it's in your DNA. So I think, you know, I think there's a strange kind of voodoo when the four of us get in a room and play Rachel Stamp music. It can only be this. You know what I mean? It's just quite magic, really.
So you guys are on stage, we're looking at 8:30, so an hour and 20 minutes. We've got wonderful music. I just want to dedicate this interview to Denise Agbesi and to Belle, who used to play with you guys as
absolutely.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, so God rest your souls, and
Both wonderful people that
Absolutely.
have died way too early.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
pleasure,
David,
Terry.
Robin,
Thank you.
Will,
Cheers,
Shahina,
Terry.
and look forward to and to Ettore for the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.